Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central.
Way too much time.
Way too much time working on this last weekend. While you were listening or watching our recorded programming.
Or napping.
Or whatever it was that you were doing last weekend, we were out here working our fingers to the bone, redoing the studio. Notice we got signage down here in front of the table now. Signage. We got some nice artwork on there. We moved some pictures around. We got the In Wheel Time clock up there. We got Wally over here. We got a little color in the background. I mean, we're styling.
We have a Christmas cap on Wally, too.
We do. That's going to stay on there. Wally.
Well, Wally was given to us in the Christmas season.
Yes, so. And that was from our friends, the Emmons brothers, down at...
that was their victory in Dallas this year.
Yes, It was.
Yeah. Wally from Ennis.
Yep. Yes, Wally from Ennis. Actually, I think Wally was from Southern California, but whatever. Well, speaking of lounging in the sand on the beach... Ladies and gentlemen, it is Mr. John Gray, Gulf Coast Auto Shield proprietor.
Ta-da!
And
extraordinaire.
And Johnny, it's good to see you.
Good morning, boys. How are y'all?
Well, we're doing good. Thank you very much for asking. We were going to talk to you today about getting your car ready for the spring ride and drives, or... for me, personally, it's going to be the Hot Rod Tour of Texas that's coming up in April. And I'm still waiting to get my hotel reservations because it's supposed to happen this weekend, that they've decided on where we're going to stop along the way and where we can get some decent prices on motel rooms.
Kathy and I are thinking about going.
I know.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to having you guys
taking the Lexus or the Caddy?
Yep, Lexus.
Take the Lexus?
Yeah. Although the Caddy is probably more ancient than the Lexus, I would imagine.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, is it 20 years old yet?
It's a 13.
It's a 13.
Yeah. So it's 11.
10 years old.
Oh, it's 10 years old.
Coming up on 11, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, my car is now 13 years old. No, 23 years old.
23 years old, yeah.
23 years old.
Mine's 53.
Is it fit? No, it's not. Oh, your Oldsmobile.
The Oldsmobile's 53 years old.
Yeah, but you don't ever drive the Oldsmobile.
Not enough.
When is the last time you drove the Oldsmobile?
About a month and a half ago.
Really?
Yep.
You had new tires on or something.
I got new tires on it back in March, but had it out about a month and a half ago. I had to get it ready because the kids were coming home.
Okay.
So.
Well, I mean, I don't want to bum out John since he's on the line with us, but has he ever massaged the paint on that thing?
Yeah, he did it just before Autorama.
When we showed it. Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
And it still looks wonderful.
It does. Yeah, he does a good job. Well,
how are the wheels on that Corvette, Don? How'd those work out?
Well, so far so good. I'm going to give it a wash job this afternoon, and I haven't really driven it enough to see if the coating on the wheels that you put on there for us, I don't have enough brake dust. I think I drove it maybe 30, 40 miles last weekend to stir the juices in it, make sure that everything was good.
You taking it to Coffee and Chrome tomorrow?
I'm planning on it, yeah. Nothing is ever definite in my life. That's the plan. We'll just leave it at that.
Life, death, and taxes, the only definite things in life.
That's right. Speaking of which, I thought that would be a good place for us to start this morning, John, because I had never heard about coating the wheels. And maybe you could explain that to everybody, because I had to buy a new set of wheels for the Corvette because the old wheels that were on there were leaking. Because the inside bead of the wheels had corroded because of the moisture that was trapped between the actual bead of the tire and the wheel. And it had corroded so much, you could actually put your fingers in the corrosion. There was a groove in there. I had no clue.
Letting the air out.
Well, yeah.
It
was leaking. And we've discovered that is done by the guys that put water on the inside of the bead when they mount it, well, it has no place to go because now you've got it all smashed in there. Now, whatever, Discount Tire up there has some new goo or something.
Kind of looks like a wax.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Do you know what that is, John, that they're using now? They're not using water anymore.
No, it's a lubricant of some kind.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it just helps with getting that tire sealed or brought back inside the bead of the tire so they can put air in it.
Yeah, and so then that moisture doesn't get trapped in there like the water that ruined the wheels. Of course, I don't really know the exact age of those wheels because I bought the car with those wheels on it. And that was in...
And those weren't the regular factory wheels either. He just switched them out.
They were Chinese wheels that were on there. That's what these are out here now. The ones that I have now are knockoffs, so to speak, of the the C7 Corvette Z06 wheels. That's what those are. Knockoff. Huh?
They look really nice on the car, and they just brought it a different look.
Yeah, it definitely did. And I was kind of worried about it. Well, the other thing is I'm trying to go for is what they call black chrome. Well, they're
as opposed to the black chrome people get because the brake dust gets on them and they all look funky.
That's right. But I will tell you that Serene put it distinctly and perfectly. It's not black chrome. It's smoky chrome.
Okay.
That because it's black chrome has that real dark tint to it.
And this
I can see that Mars has walked back in.
I can hear.
Yeah. Mars, why don't you come and sit down and join us?
So, John, tell us the components of the coating that you put, not the components, but the action the coating does to keep the brake dust from collecting on the wheels, which a lot of people with high-performance cars, they hate the brake dust that gets on their wheels, and you've got a process to minimize that.
Well, you're still going to get the brake dust on the wheels, no question about that. But what a coating is going to do, it's going to make it a lot easier to clean up and maintain those wheels over time. And if you want to do it right, you're not just going to put a coating for a paint or for the exterior on a car. You want to use a dedicated wheel coating on the calipers and on the surface of the wheel, inside the barrel and on the outside of it. And that's going to protect it from getting permanent staining from the ferrous oxides that are coming off the brake pads. Because remember, brake pads get extremely hot. Mm-hmm. So that metal that's coming off tends to want to bond to the wheel much more than like a regular dirt would. So I've seen wheels that have gone so long between cleanings that you're having to use an acid to try to remove the brake dust off of them. And sometimes, you just can't do it. It's so built up on there. But now a lot of people also have the misconception that you put a wheel coating or you put a coating on anything, hey, I can just spray it off with water. Well, that's not really necessarily true. Yes, it has better release properties than not having any sort of coating on the car or on the wheels at all. But you still need to use a really good quality, safe wheel cleaner. And one of my favorites is Sonax Full Effect or Sonax Wheel Cleaner Plus. They both have a chemical in it that reacts with the ferrous oxides and the metals that come off of the wheel or come off the brake pads. And you can see that start to work because it'll start to turn purple.
What's that stuff called?
Sonax Wheel Cleaner Plus is my favorite wheel cleaner. And anything with that, I'm not sure what the name of the chemical is that is inside these wheel cleaners. And a lot of them have that chemical in them now. It smells terrible. You'll know what you've got when you smell it. And it will, like I said, you'll start to see it turning purple after you spray it on the wheel, and you'll want to let it dwell on there for a few minutes. And then what I will do is I'll agitate it. I'll get the proper wheel brushes that will stick inside the barrel of those wheels between the caliper. Sometimes you get a really, really tight distance between your caliper and the wall of your wheel.
Yeah, there's a small
the barrel
tolerance.
of the wheel. I mean, on my GT500, I mean, there is nothing. So to clean the wheel properly, I clean 90% of the wheel, and then I back it up a few feet, and then I clean the rest of the wheel. So there's really nothing I can get in there.
The process of the coating, is it a dip? Is it a spray on? Is it a wipe on? How do you do that? You can spray it on if you want to, depending on how intricate the surface of the wheel is. But in most cases, it is wiped on. You let it sit and set up, and then you're gonna wipe it off 20 to 30 minutes later, depending on the coating. And after that, you want to let it. You don't want to put it back on the car. You don't want to drive it for probably 24 hours, and then you're going to be safe to drive it. And it will last. Ours lasts for years. Our Fine Lab wheel coatings. Well, it's a harsh environment with the heat and the metals. And a lot of them don't last that long, but ours is a very aggressive industrial type coating that will last you for a long, long time.
And again, the purpose of the coating is to keep the contaminants coming off of the brakes from adhering to the wheel. But it also makes it easier to clean, doesn't it?
Makes it much easier to clean. Yes, it does. And you will get a very large, if you just go to spray it like with a pressure washer, you'll get a high percentage of the brake dust off the wheel. But that last little bit, you're going to need to agitate it with a wheel brush and use some sort of wheel cleaner as well.
I need a brush to get in between the spokes on the wheel.
There's a bunch of good ones. So in between the spokes, I'm going to recommend to you a boar's hair brush. And if you go to there's a website called Detailed Image. So wheel woolies are my favorite type of wheel brushes, and they have some that go in between the spokes and go into the barrel of the wheel, but they also have some of the best boar's hair brushes that you clean the face of the wheel with. And man, that makes having a good boar's hair brush, and they will last. I would say we could get a year out of a boar's hair brush, and how often we're using them. So they're very, very high quality. A couple wheel brushes are going to cost you $50-$60. They're not cheap if you buy the good ones.
But if you buy the alpaca ones or the yak,
right,
instead of the boars,
Yeah,
a yak hair wheel cleaner.
Yeah,
but these are things. It's kind of an investment. You're going to get 3 to 4 times the use out of the really good wheel brushes, say like from Wheel Woolies, that you would from something that is going to cost you a quarter of the price. So I would recommend that buy the good stuff first, because it's going to last you a lot longer. And I'd also recommend this. Remember, one of the rules of car washing is you don't ever want to. Let's say you don't want to take that wheel woolly out and then start using it on your paint somewhere on the car. You just don't cross-contaminate anything from your wheel bucket, any kind of towel you use on your wheels. Everything stays separate when you're using it for wheels. You don't want to use it on your paint afterwards, because brake dust is metal, and a lot of metal, and that could definitely scratch the paint on your car.
Yeah, no doubt. No, what did you? It's Wheel Woolies, but where did you say that you get the Sonex Wheel Cleaner Plus Detail something?
Detailed Image is a great place to buy supplies.
Yep, I just posted a link on our website.
Amazon will also have Sonex Full Effect and Sonex Wheel Cleaner Plus, and I'm not sure if they carry. I think they do carry some Wheel Woolies. But I would make sure that that's the brand that you buy, because they're just the best that I've found.
I want to wear those Wheel Woolies.
That was your name in high school.
It was. It was a Wheel Woolie.
Willy Woolly. Say that fast 3 times.
Yeah. My nickname was White Chocolate.
White Chocolate.
Yeah.
We'll get nothing but trouble if we pursue this line.
You're right. You're right. I'm in.
Didn't mean to make y'all uncomfortable.
Not at all. No, not at all.
It did.
It did, but we kind of ask for that, don't we?
Yeah.
All right. Well, so my car's looking pretty good. I want to ask you, I really hate to even say this, but because I know that you're probably going to cringe, but I really do like the Maguire's Gold car wash.
It's good. That's one of the best. Okay.
So, you said it's good.
Yeah, the Gold class. So we've done tests on different car washes.
Yeah.
And the really important thing with a car wash is it serves two purposes. It's one, it's a lubricant, but the other, it's got to have a surfactant that's gonna help you clean the paint.
Yep.
And that actually has really tested out very, very well. Matter of fact, I don't know of a better car wash soap that you can go and buy at Walmart or at your everyday run of the mill store. Also, it's really reasonably priced, and it not only does it work well in the bucket, but it works pretty well in a foam cannon too. When you've got a dirty car, before you ever touch it, the best thing to do is to run a soap through a foam cannon and foam that car up and let that sit on the car. And what that's doing is the surfactant in the soap is actually eating into and loosening up the dirt that's on the car. And then you're going to come back and you're going to wash that down and remove as much of that grime and dirt from the surface of the car that you possibly can before you even touch it. So, I always say the less you touch the car while you're washing it, the better off you are. So, that's why we try to dry our cars without a towel. We will blow dry them in essence. And anytime you touch a car, I don't care if you're washing it, if you're drying it, it's friction, And if you have some really small particles of dirt on there, you can cause swirling and scratching and whatnot on the car. That especially if you've spent some time polishing or whatnot, then you've just gone back and you've redone the damage that you've taken out.
John has the coolest collection of cars that he actually puts coatings on and that sort of stuff in the shop.
Oh, yeah.
What's the fun stuff you've got in the shop today?
The coolest thing we've got today is a new GT3 RS, and a 911 GT3 RS, and this is it is I swear to you could put that on the track at the 24 hours Daytona with the rest of the GTD class, and it would hold up. This is the nastiest 911 I've ever seen.
How much is something like that? $500,000?
Pure race car.
This one's spec'd out at 320. And I like the guy's going to drive it. So he had a GT3 before this. He's a cool dude, man. And he had a GT3, a 992 GT3, which is the new generation, and now he's got this GT3 RS. And he didn't put the carbon buckets racing seats in it. He put the seats that I would put in one. They're going to be 18-way comfort seats, and it is. I'd like to. If you'd like to come out see it, I'd walk you out there because it is worth looking at.
No doubt,
for sure.
Speaking of seats, I'm thinking I might want to look into getting some seats for the Corvette because the draw on the battery turns out to be the driver's seat, and now the passenger seat, the motor on it, I don't know whether it doesn't work or whatever, but we tried to adjust it last weekend and it does nothing. And the seats, they're a pain in the butt, actually, what they are. So
how often do you move them? Why don't you lock it in place and unplug it?
Well, I mean, there's that. I guess I could do that.
I mean, once you get comfortable, just unplug it and the draw goes away and you're not moving the seat.
Well, there's no more draw on it. You had the draw fixed.
The draw is fixed. And that's certainly an idea. But I thought about getting some other seats. What are these 18-way seats you're talking about? What are they, $10,000 a piece?
No, actually, they're one of the more one of the more affordable Porsche seats.
Now, in your mind, how affordable are they?
Well, it's relative, isn't it?
It is. That's true.
You're buying a 911, and
at 320,
get one of those. Well, this particular one, but this is a seat that you can get into a base 911. So this is your GT3 RS, and I will
look at the size of the spoiler on the back of that thing,
and that's functional. Well, that's not just there to help push it around.
We're gonna get to the spoiler here in just a second. This thing is straight up nasty. It is amazing. But look at the pistons back on the spoiler. You see the red pistons back there?
Yeah, I can see them.
So this has active DRS like a Formula One car.
Oh wow!
So you can see the split between the the two wings.
Yep.
And it will it senses when you're on a straight. You can activate your DRS to get a better, I guess, a better top end on it. But this car is amazing.
And he's going to drive this every day on the street.
No, he won't drive it every day, but he will drive it, and I think that's pretty cool.
That's a car that is perfect for the track down in Angleton, Houston Motorsports Ranch, I guess it's called now.
Absolutely, it is, and it would also be absolutely at home at COTA because of the speeds, the top speeds.
What are the top speeds on that thing? Is it 200-mile-an-hour car?
Oh yeah, oh easy. Yes, it is.
I would think you would need some kind of speed like that for that spoiler system to work.
I would imagine that it would work at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah,
too.
But I mean to be effective.
Well, it's probably got some level of downforce in the 50, 60 mile an hour range.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
You know, and the faster you go, the more downforce it creates.
What I understand, when you close that wing off, at high speeds, I could be wrong, but it adds an extra 800 pounds of downforce.
Wow.
I mean, this is a legitimate race car.
Hauls a lot of woolies.
Yeah, it is absolutely amazing. And
well, that's what Porsche is known
this
for.
This car won't have a lot of brake dust on it, just because of the fact that it's going to have ceramic brakes.
Of course, it is. What are you doing to it?
We did on a car like this, you have to do a full body paint protection film on it.
Gotcha.
You don't have a choice. I mean,
so it's almost like a clear wrap.
Oh yeah, the bulk of what we do here is paint protection films, and yes, this entire car is covered in a urethane layer that you could throw your keys across the hood and it would not damage anything.
Well, it probably damaged something because the owner of the car would probably react and punch you in the face. Don't be throwing your keys across my car, you idiot.
It wouldn't do that. Damaged, but if I go out and show somebody my truck and we put film on the hood of it, of course, I will do that to my personal truck, to show somebody. But this is outstanding. And this is a different film we put on. This is kind of cool. This Range Rover was gloss black, and now it's satin black because we have a film that is protection film that is satin, and nice. It was meant for matte vehicles. It absolutely disappears on matte paint, but you put it on matte cars or put it on glossy cars, and it turns satin, and it's kind of a cool look. It's a pretty neat look.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I haven't seen that. Was
that also what you did to that Aston Martin SUV? Because that had a satin black finish to it as well.
It had a satin black paint job, and we put that film on top of it. And then we have the Z06 over here, which is, for the money, there's nothing better, maybe. It's just an outstanding race car.
Wow, that's a brand new Z06. I haven't even seen one.
Hugger orange.
Has the any body parts been upgraded for the Z06 or made special than the regular Corvette?
It's got different aero on it for sure. It
does. Okay.
But I think I like the body style a little bit better on it. But it is It's a good looking car for sure. I just wish I could fit in it. It'd be nice if I could get in it and get out of it, but I can't. So
how are your
what happens when you're 6'5"?
Yeah. So how are your knees?
You know what's funny? You should ask. This morning was the first morning I got up and I didn't think about it.
Oh, good.
It's been a rough run, but
he had knee replacement. If you didn't know,
See, a little pun there. Knees, rough run.
He was so excited that he was going to be joining us that he didn't bother with the knee.
I know. And speaking of which, now it's time for us to let you go.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
John, it's always great to talk to you. Thank you very much. John Gray, Gulf Coast Auto Shield, getting your ride ready. We're talking about wheels. We're talking about all sorts of good stuff with John.
Make your life easy, get it coated.
Exactly. We're going to take a break now.
Oh, okay. I got the wrong screen up.
That's okay because we're going to have to move you to another segment.
That's fine. Perfectly okay.
All right.
No problem.
I promise
Let me get the break up and we'll go.
Okay. Hey, the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In-Wheel Time Car Talk. We also video stream our 3-hour weekly show on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. Like pancakes, our podcasts are good and hot and at your fingertips for your favorite podcast outlet source. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break.
You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The original group of Loopy Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Loopy Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Loopy Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Loopy Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Loopy Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Loopy's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggieland? Head to the Loopy Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana? Stop in at the Loopy Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Loopy Tortilla restaurants invites you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In-Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeart Radio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeart Radio app, search for In-Wheel Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In-Wheel Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/In-Wheel Time Car Talk. That's it for this podcast episode of the In-Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.